it is Thursday evening and I am so excited because tomorrow I do not have to work. I have the day off. It is Nevada Day, so thankfully that means for us we get to work in the garden. So today what I plan to do is some preparations. I need to put some scraps in the compost, but I'll do that tomorrow morning. But tonight what I'm going to do is prepare some garlic. So I've done some research and I can still plant some garlic, and I know with planting seeds and all that kind of stuff, I know there's a lot of rules, but then there's also a lot of unwritten rules as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it out. I am going to plant some garlic cloves. I could not find any more seeds. I went to Home Depot, I went to Walmart, I went online to search, I called in as well, and there's no more garlic seeds. I do not know when they're going to come back in, but there is none. So what I saw online, the recommendations are that you can go to the store and get garlic, but it's organic. It has to be organic. And so that's what I ended up doing. I just got, my sister helped me out and she was able to pick out some organic garlic cloves for me. So I'm gonna just use that. I did read there are pros and cons to getting store-bought garlic and planting them in the soil. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of see if I can just make it work, because I do want garlic. It takes 8 months to grow. I do feel like this is the perfect time to put it in, and if not, then I will try a different way on another time. But for today, what I'm going to do, what I've seen, what I've done with my research, that you get the outside of the garlic and you're going to soak it in fish fertilizer mixed with baking soda and water as well. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that in just a moment. And also the garlic that I chose is a hardneck. So the hardneck is the one with the hard stem in the center, and the soft neck is the one with the soft center. So I'm going to be using the hardneck, and I'm gonna see how it goes. I don't know. I've never done this before. I'm trying it out, and it's okay. If it fails, it fails. But what if it doesn't? So we don't know until we try it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And it says to soak it for 8 to 16 hours, or no more than 16 hours. So that is what I'm gonna do. And then tomorrow, after I'm done with some appointments and running errands, I'll be coming and removing it from it getting soaked in the fish fertilizer and the baking soda and water, and I'm going to plant it in the soil. I'm going to be using, like, I believe it's either, I think it's a 20-gallon pot. I'm assuming so. And because with garlic it does need enough space to grow, so that's what I'm going to do. That is the biggest pot that I actually have in the yard, so we'll see how that goes. But that'll be for tomorrow. For tonight, let's just soak them. And also what I wanted to also tell you, the reason why it's good to soak it in fish fertilizer and baking soda, and also it's good to use kelp with fish fertilizer, but I couldn't find any, so it's just going to be fish fertilizer. It's supposed to help the garlic to grow. It's supposed to remove certain pathogens that are not healthy for the garlic. So hopefully that soak will help this garlic to grow and flourish nicely. It's supposed to also help for the garlic to grow faster. So we will see how that goes. And this is not from seed, so it could make a difference, but we'll see how it goes with how I'm gonna do it, because this is what I had, this is what I could find, and I don't really have any other options. The seeds are not available here in my area. So let's get started. Let me show you guys what I am gonna do. And one thing, sorry, I know we're gonna get started here with the garlic, but something else that I wanted to also mention is that I am in zone 9B. I am in Las Vegas. This is a very dry area, but we are going into cooler temperatures. October's been pretty good to us. The temperatures have been cooling down and then they go back up. That is just how Vegas is. But I've been enjoying it because I need a break from the heat. I love it, but I cannot wait for very cold temperatures to come in. So we are getting ready for that cold front to come in, but we still have a lot of warm days. And even just last week alone, it was really hot. It was like 80 degrees, but it felt hotter than 80 degrees. I'm pretty sure it was over 90, but we still have a lot of warm days. So that's why I feel that I can still put the garlic in before the cooler temperatures come in, like permanently, until we go into summer. So that's why I also want to get started on certain things and start planting certain seeds now. And that was just something I just wanted to let you guys know. And also the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is that I have seeds coming in, but they are being shipped from a farm in another state. I will talk about that once those seeds come here. And some of those seeds, I'm going to be able to plant them now. And thankfully, we still have a lot of warm days even in November. So I still have a little bit of time, I think. And yeah, so we'll have that discussion once those seeds come in, and I'll show you guys what I end up doing. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Let's get started with the garlic. Okay, so the way that you can tell that it's a hardneck, if you can see, this right here is the neck. This is the stem in the center. And if it's really stiff, that's considered the hard neck garlic. And the soft neck will typically be very soft, so it wouldn't be so stiff like this one is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the cloves now. And I'm just going to use like recycled takeout container, and I'm just going to put them in there. This is where they're going to soak overnight. And this is just going to go in the compost. Okay, and what I also read is that you don't remove the skin, so we're going to keep it with the skin. So we're only going to use the outside of the garlic, the center of the garlic. We will not be planting that. Okay, so all these small ones, these, we are going to eat that. So I'll put that aside. Now we'll repeat with this one. So these are the only cloves I have. I didn't get more than these. And I was also paying attention to the bottom of the garlic because I had read that if the roots of the garlic, as you can see here, if the roots are not there, that means that it was grown in another country. But if you see the roots here, then that is something that is grown either locally or next door. So I'm in Las Vegas, so this could have been grown in California. That's where we get a lot of garlic here from what I had read. So they still have the roots, so I'm hoping that this is coming from next door. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this one up too. I'm sure there are better ways to open this. Okay. I've seen some people kind of just smash it like that, but these were a little bit hard, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, this one's really small, so I'm going to put that aside so we can eat that. Okay, these are my tiny ones. Ooh, actually, this is big, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant that. I'm gonna put these tiny ones aside to eat. Okay, this one's small, so I'm gonna put that aside, and then this one's big. They say that you want to plant the big cloves. So these are the big cloves, and they're usually on the outer side, not the inside, or the center of the garlic bulb. So I'm just going to remove all of this. See? So I got like another little small piece there, so I'm going to put that there. And then these are 2 cloves. I think these are 2. Oh no, it isn't. It's 1 clove. Okay, I'm just a little worried because a piece of the skin came off, so I'm hoping that's okay. But I guess we'll find out. Okay. So let's see. Let's count how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cloves. 12, 13, 14 cloves. Oh, 15. Okay, so we have 15 cloves. And now I'm gonna go get the fish fertilizer, the water, and the baking soda, and I'm gonna pour it in here. There is a measurement that you have to use, so I'm gonna quickly go get that together, and I'll tell you what the measurements are. Okay, so I had to get a bigger bowl because the measurement is 1 gallon of water, 1 tablespoon of fish fertilizer, and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. So I just wanted to show you guys how the fertilizer looks like. This is how the fish fertilizer looks like. It's really thick, and people do complain about the smell, but I don't know. It's whatever. It doesn't stink that much. I mean, it stinks, but it's okay. It's not too bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix that. So this is 1 tablespoon of the fish fertilizer. By the way, I am filming this in my little small pantry, so just ignore the other things that you see laying around. Okay, so there's still stuff stuck on here, so I'm just going to use the garlic stuff, garlic skins to remove it, or to mix it in like that. Okay, so I think that's pretty good now. Nice and clean. And now I'm going to get some baking soda as well. I'm actually running out. I need to do a huge bulk order on so many of my staples. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Azure Standard, but that is one of my favorite places. It's an online shopping market, and that is where I have been buying my big bulk items like rice and beans and flour. and it's organic, so I really like their stuff. Anyways, we'll talk about that another day. So I'm gonna get a tablespoon of this. Wait, let me measure it here because I want to be exact. Oop. And that is why I am glad I measured it here. Okay, so this is 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Okay. Okay, so this baking soda that fell in the cap, I'm going to actually throw that out because it did touch the spoon a bit. So I don't want a fishy smelling baking soda. Okay, so that's out of the way. So now here are our cloves. And what I wanted to look up is how much garlic will these give. So let's go ahead and put all these in. They're going to be soaking in with the skin. And this is going to be soaking in here for about 8 hours. I'm going to leave this overnight. Right now it's like around 9 o'clock at night, going for 10. And so by the time I get up, I'm going to have an early start tomorrow. I'm going to be up by 6 o'clock getting some things done around the house. So I will probably come back to this by 10 or 11 in the morning. And then you'll see me outside and then we'll talk further about this lovely garlic. Oh, this is only 2 pounds. If you're curious what this is, it's not vinegar, it's an old vinegar bottle, but I put a concentrated cleaner in there with water. I don't know if you guys have heard of, it's this bottle here, I'll show you. I don't know if you've heard of this brand, Autobahn. I really like this brand quite a lot. I feel like it feels like a safer product to use. Because I don't like using bleach. So this is pretty good. So you put a little bit of this and some water, and I put like a little tiny hole. You can't really tell, but there's like a small hole in there, and then I just squirt it wherever I need to clean, and it works, and it smells really good, and it keeps the area very fresh because I just use a very concentrated fish fertilizer, so I don't want it to be smelling like that when I wake up. So this will do the trick. So I also wanted to show you guys the fertilizer that I used. The bottle was really big, so I couldn't really fit it in the camera, but this is how it looks. Hold on, let me get the camera close. So this is what it's called. This is the brand. It's Alaska brand. I will put the link right under. And this fertilizer was on sale at Walmart for $14.50. And this is going to last me a pretty long time. I have so many veggies I'm going to be planting, and this really helps to give that nutrition into the veggies. And so I'm excited to try it out and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, then I won't use it again. But I hear a lot of good things about this fertilizer, so I'm excited to try it. Okay, so I checked, so it's going to be about 15 bulbs per clove. But I think because there's also a chance of many of these cloves not surviving, so my prediction is that maybe in total I might be able to grow, let's just say like 7 to 10 of them. That's what I am assuming. So we will see in 8 months. But for now, these are going to soak and we will talk tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is officially Friday. The weather is so nice this morning. It is nice and sunny. It was really cold earlier this morning. I got up at 5 a.m. I had to go drop my sister off at the airport, and I also enjoyed a really nice morning with my husband. We had some breakfast, and now we're back home. And I am going to get started on the garlic. So you guys know that last night I let it soak overnight in that fish fertilizer, and the house didn't smell too bad, but definitely the area that I left it in the laundry area to keep it nice and warm, because it says that it can't be cold apparently. So it said lukewarm, so I'm assuming it needs to be in a cozier environment. So it is definitely a little smelly in that area, but it's totally fine. But I'll show you guys how that mix looks like now. It doesn't look much different, but we're gonna go rinse that garlic before we plant it in the soil. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm just grabbing some pots. I think I'm gonna get a bigger one than this. I just wanted to put some of our compost that we've been working on into the soil that we're going to be using for the garlic. So I'm gonna put a bit of compost, put it in the soil and mix it nicely, so that we can have that really good nutrition for the soil and for the garlic to grow nicely. So let's get started, and then I'll show you what else I have on the table. We just have our garlic, some scraps, and some fertilizer here. I just wanted to take a second to admire this compost that is coming along so nicely, and I am just so proud of my efforts. So I was just removing some of the big pieces of scraps. I was just removing like rocks because I found stones in there. So I was just kind of cleaning out the soil a bit, and I ended up just mixing it. Before I had moved the barrel, I just mixed it nicely. Hello, welcome back in. So last time you guys saw me was this morning. So when I was mixing the soil and I was just putting the barrel over here, I had forgotten that I had a big batch of tea on the stove, and I like to make big batches, and so I completely forgot about it. So I had to go inside and attend that, and then I had to run to do a couple of appointments. So now I'm back home and we're gonna continue the garlic saga. So let's go ahead and continue that. So I already mixed the soil in. I just need to sift it because there's a lot of items that I do not want in the soil, when I plant the garlic. So I wanted to show you guys the pot that I'm going to be using. So it's this very nice, big, lovely one. I want to say that it's giving maybe 10 gallons. Let me see if the bottom says it. Can't see if the bottom says it. Can you guys see it? Because I cannot see if the bottom says it. I have no idea, but I'm going to be using this to plant the garlic. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, I've already rinsed the garlic, so it's just been sitting on the table and it's ready to get planted. So let's go ahead and begin. So I'm just breaking apart the big clumps. The soil is pretty dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and water it as well once I fill it halfway. But this is a little too dry, so I'm just gonna fill it halfway and then I'm gonna put water, mix it, and then fill it up all the way. So you can kind of see all these big pieces. I don't want all of that in there, although it's good to have some of this in there. I don't want too much. Some of this compost is still breaking down, so I don't want to put all of that in there immediately. So I'm just being careful with that. I am so glad that I was able to work in the garden today. I wasn't feeling completely okay today. I was under the weather, so I did the best that I could. There were some other things that I wanted to get done as well in the garden, but this was all that I was able to handle, and I'm just so glad that I have something that is seeded. There is something in the soil, and I am so glad. So I pushed myself a bit today, and I was able to get this small project done, and hopefully I will be able to do more once my other seeds come in. But today I'm just glad that I was able to get this done, and also thanking you guys for joining me today and being able to also see this process. Okay, so now I'm just gonna have a seat here. I'm just going over my notes here on the garlic, and It says here that we're going to be planting the garlic with, oh, okay, I'm going to show you guys how that looks. There's this part of the garlic where it's pointing up. So I'll show you now. And it needs to be 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart. And then after that, we have to water it very well. So let's see how that looks. So I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit more. Let me move this. So what I ended up doing, I tried to break apart the bigger pieces, and then I also removed like big pieces. Like if there was like a big piece of this, I removed it. So whatever I didn't want in the soil, I went ahead and removed it with my hands instead, because what I was using to sift it, it was just taking too long. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and measure this out. So I've seen that people will go use their fingers to measure. So it's 2 inches deep and then 6 inches apart. So I'm going to count with my 3 fingers and I'm going to make a little dent there. And then there's 6 inches. So this will be the next area. And then I'm just going to keep going like this. I am just copying the things that I have seen other gardeners do. I don't know if this is too far apart. I'm hoping that this is the right amount of space. Okay, so I did see that they will plant around and then they plant in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I think this is enough space. Okay, so now let's put the garlic in. So I'm just adding some worm fertilizer. This is what I've seen other gardeners do. They put a little bit of this worm castings and they put a little bit inside the hole and then they put the garlic clove inside. So that's what I wanted to try out and see if that works. So I'll link this product below if anybody was interested, but I just hope that it works because this is what I've seen the other gardeners do, and well, I hope that this little trick works because everybody has their little tricks, and this was a trick that I saw somebody else do. So let's see how it goes. I had to keep reminding myself that the tip there is what goes up and it doesn't get planted the other way around. So I had to make sure I was planting it correctly every single time and not getting the wrong angles. Okay, so I'm all done now. I am going to add the water as it directed, and I'm just gonna soak it. That is what it asked for, so I'm gonna do that. So I have to water this about 3 times a week, and I have to be careful that I do not overwater so it doesn't rot. So I'll keep an eye on that. So I had 3 more cloves that did not fit in the big pot, so I added them in these smaller pots. So we will see how they grow. I will keep an eye on these as well. Okay, guys, so I am all done. I am so proud of that. I can't wait to see if it actually works. So the only thing that I need to do next is to add some mulch on top of it, which I do plan to pick some up tomorrow morning. I was able to find a place that offers free mulch. It's a farm, it's a little farm here in Las Vegas. I will link the name underneath so you guys can find out, anybody who's locally here in Las Vegas can go here and visit. I actually got this information when I was making phone calls to the city and other locations that might have free programs that can help me with educating myself with the food industry, with gardening, but also it's going to help me to find free resources wherever I am able to get it in the local area. So that is my goal, to always look around, see where else I can get free resources, but also to find locations where I can also get resources to educate myself and things like that. So I was able to find this location through somebody who was very kind, and they work for UNLV. And the university used to have like a program where they would donate a tree or something like that. And so they don't have these programs anymore. So she told me to check this place out. So I'm going to check out this farm. Hopefully, I have time tomorrow, and maybe they can connect me to other farmers and other local areas that I can go visit so I can get some resources and maybe much more affordable resources and also free resources as well. So I'm going to go now. I am done for the evening. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a very nice time in the garden. It was a little bit of a short time today, but I still enjoyed my time outside, and the weather is just so perfect. So let's see how this garlic grows, and I will keep you guys posted. So now I'm just going to clean up my mess that I left outside, and I'm going to go cozy up inside the house and enjoy a really nice Friday evening. Thank you for joining. I hope to see you again next time. Bye.